Yeah, if I ruled the world, I'd lower the coke prices, raise the welfare, and lower the perk prices. You could pay for a feature, even though the flow priceless.
What's up, gang, and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Music. Today, we stand right here in Baltimore City to find out more about Jameria Hall, who murdered both of her kids. In the meantime, I'm gonna need you to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, gang, we won't incriminate nobody over here. Let's go.
McGee, welcome to WJZ News of 4 and those of you streaming on CBSN Baltimore.
The Baltimore woman accused of killing her two young children is found incompetent to stand trial.
Jameria Hall was charged with first-degree murder in the deaths of her 8-year-old son and 6-year-old daughter.
They were found dead inside their Southwest Baltimore apartment last month. Hall's case has been placed on the inactive docket until she is found mentally fit to stand trial.
Baltimore, a Baltimore mother has been deemed not criminally responsible for the August 2021 murder of her two young children. Jameria Hall initially confessed to killing her 8-year-old son Davin Thomas Jr. and his 6-year-old sister Daneria. A maintenance man discovered the two decomposing bodies on August 24 after being alerted of a foul odor coming from an apartment on Coventry Road. Davin was found inside a sleeping bag with a knife in his chest and trash bag over his head. Daneria was located and dressed in a bathtub with something wrapped around her neck. Hall was not at the apartment when the children were found dead, but a neighbor reported hearing Daneria screaming "Mommy, no" the night of August 19th. Police finally tracked Hall down on August 25th, at which time she told investigators how she carried out the killings. Hall reportedly displayed disturbing behavior towards her children years before their deaths. Back in 2018, the three went missing and later turned up at a local hospital. This was after Hall was accused of setting her home on fire with Daneria and Davin there. She was convicted in that case and sentenced to a year in jail. It's unclear what, if any, action Child Protective Services took following the 2018 incident, but online court records show there was a child custody hearing in 2019. Since a judge accepted doctors' recommendations that Hall is not criminally responsible, she will be committed to a state hospital where her condition will be monitored and treated.
Story here at home breaking so many hearts. A Southwest Baltimore mom has officially been charged with the murder of her two young children. Jameria Hall remains locked up tonight. WMER2 News' Dave Detling has been following the story, and he got a hold of the charging documents and has more from the neighborhood where those children died.
Well, we spoke to a hazmat crew who is inside apartment 1 cleaning up the remains of this tragic scene. They will be back on scene tomorrow to finalize. This all comes as charging documents reveal what exactly investigators found inside that apartment. We want to warn you, the details are disturbing.
I only met her one time, but she seemed like she was a nice young lady. And when I found out it was the kids, it hurt my heart.
Neighbors are still struggling to understand what drove a mother to murder her own children.
These are all of our babies. These are all of our babies, and it's just heartbreaking, and it saddens me that she didn't get the help that she needed.
As police continue to look into Jameria Hall's past, charging documents reveal her 8-year-old son Davin was found in a sleeping bag with a trash bag over his head and a knife in his chest. 6-year-old Daneria was found in the bathtub with a clothing object wrapped around her neck. Prior to their discovery, neighbors say they heard a child screaming "Mommy, no" on August 19th. As we've reported, both children were found in a state of decomposition earlier this week in their apartment on Coventry Road. A maintenance man we now know was the one who called 911.
Clean up, make sure there's no biohazard left behind. We clean, disinfect, and sanitize it.
A hazmat cleaning crew was on scene Thursday, nearly 24 hours after the children's mother confessed to the killings. Court documents reveal Jameria Hall was last seen walking on the streets, talking to herself before she was picked up by police. Her mental health and criminal background now getting a deeper look. She's since been charged with murder, assault, and reckless endangerment.
We'll be looking into her past to ascertain if there was something that was done that led her to this, or something that wasn't done that perhaps led her to this.
Mental health is real, and that's what we have to realize, that a snap is a snap, a break in your brain is a break in your brain, and we need to do more.
And as for Jameria Hall, she remains locked.
There's breaking news in Baltimore. Horrific new information after a mother is charged with murdering her two children. Court documents show a neighbor may have unknowingly heard the moments leading up to the deaths of Davin and Daneria Thomas. And just today, police released their mother's mugshot. Jameria Hall is charged with murder. Now, we want to warn you, some of the details you're about to hear may be disturbing.
That's right. Alexa Ashwell begins our team coverage with the charging documents released today. Alexa, they are so disturbing.
Yes, Mary, these details in this document are horrific. It details how the children were found and that neighbors heard screams. What it doesn't say is why. Why kill these children? A question that remains.
That's what a neighbor told police. They heard 6-year-old Danira screaming from inside her home in Southwest Baltimore August 19th, according to these court documents. The little girl and her brother Davin found dead inside the apartment 5 days later. 2 children now gone, according to police, at the hands of their mother, Jameria Hall. Her charging documents detailing the shocking and disturbing details surrounding their murders. A case that began this past Tuesday when a maintenance worker discovered the children dead inside of their apartment in Southwest Baltimore after being asked to investigate a foul smell coming from the unit. These court documents detailing Davin was found lying face down in a sleeping bag in the living room, a knife at that scene, and his sister in the bathtub with a clothing object wrapped around her neck, both in a state of decomposition and no sign of their mother. The documents detail Jameria Hall was last seen with her 2 children on August 19th outside the residence. That same night, a neighbor told police they heard Danira screaming, "Mommy, no." Hall arrested the next day. According to the documents, a witness telling police she had gotten into an Uber and was heading for Baltimore County. There, she was taken into custody and later gave a full admission into detail as to how she murdered both of her children.
Now, these documents also mention the father of these children, his family telling us they tried to keep the children after prison for arson. More on that at 5.
You that some of the details you're about to hear are disturbing. Keith Daniels joins us more right now with what neighbors are saying. Keith?
Well, Kai, the details are in these charging documents. We're told how the children were found and about neighbors who heard screams. And tonight, one of those neighbors is telling his chilling story. It shook Ray Cherry from his sleep.
I heard the kids around 11:30.
He says screams of children and tussling that night seeped through his floor from the apartment below.
Whoever was down there was picking these kids up and they was crying. And one kid said, "Mommy, no, mommy, no, mommy." And I heard a little boy through the floor was kind of crying. And right after that, I didn't hear anything else.
Cherry said that happened last Thursday night, August 19th. 5 days later, according to these court documents, police found Danira and Davin Thomas, 6 and 8 years old, dead inside their apartment. Their mother, Jameria Hall, police say, confessing to the murders. The court documents with graphic details, including Davin found lying face down in a sleeping bag in the living room, stabbed with a large knife, and his sister in the bathtub with a clothing object wrapped around her neck, both in a state of decomposition. And no sign of their mother. According to investigator, Jameria Hall was last seen with her 2 children on August 19th outside the residence. The same night, Cherry says he was awakened by children screaming. The next day, police arrested Hall after she took an Uber to Baltimore County. Later, police say she gave a full admission in detail as to how she murdered both of her children. Cherry would later discover that what he unknowingly heard may have been the moments leading up to the deaths of Danira and Davin.
I'm weeping because the kid, she didn't have to kill them kids. She didn't have to do it.
Well, Cherry was also one of the neighbors who alerted apartment management about the foul odor that was coming from inside the building.